That's, huh? Hello? How's that? Okay. You ready? All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you could stand and join me in the pledge to the flag. All righty. Public forum for agenda items? Okay. Um, highway report. Dale's got a family thing going. You gonna read for him, Dan? Okay. Turn- Yeah.
Good evening. Oh, come on. Shelby, Highway Report. Good evening. June is behind us. Our work continues nicely with many graves dug and funerals, many grave foundations poured and built out. A military grave plaque has been found in the parts room from 2009. The grave was located and the plaque mounted. The department is thrilled that this has been completed finally for the family. Last month, an anonymous complaint had been lodged against the Shelby Highway Department on right-of-way spraying. The New York State DEC investigator, after the DEC came and investigated, after a few days we were exonerated of any wrongdoing. Our MEO, Rusty Hoffmeister, has successfully completed his Class A schooling and has received his new license. Congratulations, Rusty. Good job. New York State Rural Water has completed the town-wide leak detection on the town of Shelby water systems. It has been determined that our system is now tight, and it has been a struggle. It makes my men proud. And I'm going to give you this confirmation paper, Scott.
Okay.
Through shared services, we have been able to assist the county, Kendall, Ridgeway, Berry, and Clarendon highway departments for their work, as they will be here to assist us next week in paving Bigford Road. At this time, I want to speak about Route 63 road closure. Many concerns have come to my office. We have reached out to the county sheriff, the New York State Police. A speed indicator has been placed, and law enforcement said they would make their presence known on Saltworks Road, East Shelby Road, and let's try to get through the next 7 weeks unscathed. Thank you for your patience. A big thank you to Mrs. Jones and her class as they have finished Section 1 and A in Mount Pleasant, and they're on their Make an Impact Day, mapping current graves in conjunction with plots and markers. Great community service. Roadside mowing, parks and fire halls, water meter repairs, water reads, new bills will be mailed out soon. Please, if you haven't been able to send us your picture of the inbound water pipe to assist us in the survey, please do so. And finally, the never-ending stacking of e-waste. Thank you.
You want to do your code enforcement right away? Thank you, Dale, substitute.
All right, code enforcement report for the first 6 months of the year. I had 24 building permits that I've issued in my office. Only 3 have been closed out. It has been a little slow. I have been having good success on the property maintenance violation corrections. Many people have responded to me. I've got a few left out there. About a month ago, I sent out 3 violation letters for high grass, and I was concerned about one of them on Shelby Basin Road, so much so that I sent Councilman Lehman out there to look at it. I've had experience with this gentleman in the town of Ridgeway. I didn't have any good success with him, but I'm happy to report that the violation has been corrected. So I don't know what happened, but it's corrected. And also, I sent Councilman Lehman out there to, in the hopes that we can put together a high weeds, grass and weeds law for 2015. It'd be something to maybe to work on this fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Planning board?
Yeah, back in June, 5 of my members attended the state training over in Albion. Uh, And I noticed here, one other thing, that you're setting a public hearing for July 17th on local law number 2. Does that have to go to the county for their recommendations first?
Probably should.
Okay, just bringing it to your attention, that's all.
Before the meeting?
No, it doesn't need to go before, you won't be able to vote on it until.
Oh, yeah.
Until after you get the
Right.
recommendation from the,
Right,
yes.
because it needs to go to your board and it'll need to go to county planning.
Well, usually Dan takes care of that for us. So, and our July meeting was canceled.
Thank you, Kirk. Julie can't be here tonight for the assessor's report. She sent a note, said the final roll was issued on July 1st, and it's available online. It's on the website, Darlene?
Yes.
Okay. Final tax roll. Okay. Resolution to approve the town clerk's report for June. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
No, second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye. It's approved. Carried. Resolution to approve town board meeting minutes for June. Is there a motion?
I make the motion.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye or yes?
Aye.
It's carried. Resolution to approve to pay the claims against the town. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye or yes?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Did anyone abstain on the last two? I didn't ask.
No.
Okay. We have a resolution for introduction for local law number 2 of 2024, moratorium on wind energy systems as requested by the planning board. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, open for discussion. Is this a standard moratorium type?
Kathy, the third paragraph from the bottom, where it talks about owner of the property affected by the local law suffer any extraordinary hardship, can you kind of put that in English for us?
She's on the last page.
Third one from the
Yep.
bottom.
So generally, what that is it's similar to the variance process that landowners can go through under the zoning code, right? If they find that they've experienced some sort of hardship because of the zoning code, they're permitted to come in and apply for a variance. And essentially, that's what allows them to do, is to come in and seek a variance for a hardship. Because what the town doesn't want to be in a position of is facing a lawsuit for taking someone's property without compensation.
So I guess what I'm asking is, could the loss of somebody's income from not being able to go through with the project be considered a hardship?
They would have to show that they cannot make any reasonable return on their property in
without-
order to obtain a variance. It's a very high standard. Someone has to come in with significant financial proof that basically this moratorium has destroyed all economic value of their property, in essence.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, how long is this moratorium gonna be for? Or, oh, it's a local law?
So it's for 6 months, and then it's renewable for an additional 6 months? And that will give the planning board time to review the provisions in the zoning code as they currently exist with respect to wind energy systems and decide what changes would need to be made to the zoning code.
And this just says wind energy, so do we have something in place for solar, or should this be amended to say alternative energy in whole?
Solar is totally separate. We have regulations on
Okay,
large and small solar.
okay. So it's just the wind that we're, okay.
So this is anything below 25 megawatt, right?
No, we're gonna cover the whole thing, big and small.
Doesn't the state control anything over 24 megawatt?
Well, they would have to make
25?
they can make an application to the state,
Right.
and then if they made an application to the state could make a ruling to supersede the local zoning code, but I would say go ahead and adopt the provisions and make them go through that process.
Anything else, Ed?
No.
Linda?
Nope.
Jeff? Okay, all in favor of passing resolution for local law number 2 of 2024?
So all you're doing at this point, just for clarification purposes, is this is the introduction of the law, and this allows the next steps to be taken, which is the scheduling of a public hearing and any referrals that need to be made to the county planning board and to your town planning board. And then, depending on what comments come back from the county, the town planning board, the public, maybe you make changes, maybe you don't, but then at that point, you could adopt the local law.
So,
So this is just a resolution to introduce the local law.
okay, so all in favor of introducing the resolution for local law number 2, the planning board can move forward. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. So we gotta set up a public hearing for this. We have a resolution to set a public hearing date for July 17th. That's when, Darlene? Next Thursday?
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday at 7 PM for the proposed local law number 2 of 2024, moratorium on wind energy systems. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we go forward with the 17th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye or yes?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Board comments, Ed?
Yeah, I got a couple things. We were promised last month that Allied would be here for a presentation. They're not here. Of the 22 audit.
That's right, what happened? They said they were gonna attend. I'll get you an answer tomorrow, Ed. I thought they were coming. So,
Can we try to schedule that for next Wednesday when we're in the public hearing, and then right after that, we can do the
I'll ask them.
audit review?
Right after the public hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Linda?
Are you done?
No, I'm not done yet. I've been looking online and I'm trying to locate the town procurement policy. Does the town have one?
Darlene, that's in the policy book, right? Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Is there a book on policies? Darlene, do you have a book that has all the different policies?
I do.
Ca-
I have the book with policies in it.
Is it possible to get a copy?
Sure.
Or is it like this big, or?
It's not real big, but I will definitely get you some copies.
Okay, thank you.
How old are those, Darlene? Do you know, those policies? Have they been updated?
They're
in-
old.
Oh. So they probably need to be updated. Okay.
Scott, I think you had them, probably 5 or 6 months ago. You got them, and you were going to get them updated. And then you brought me back some of the,
Yeah, we'll check.
okay.
I know we were going through the book together, so we'll look at it. Anything else, Ed?
Yes, I thought tonight we were supposed to discuss the audit. We're sending out audits to like 7 or 8 firms regarding the state audit to
We
get
did.
it corrected. And we've received the email from you this morning. You said already sent it out. We never discussed anything.
Sent out an email yesterday with the proposed, Linda sent the proposed changes.
Yeah, you said it last night. You said you sent it out, or yesterday morning,
Yes.
dated today.
Sent it out last night, dated today, yes. Sent an email out asking if everyone was good with it. Linda wanted to wait, Steve wanted to move forward, Jeff wanted to move forward, and I moved forward. You didn't respond, so
I didn't respond
resubmitted.
because we're supposed to be doing that tonight.
Well,
I got,
I resubmitted.
Hmm?
I resubmitted to all 8 firms, even the ones that declined to submit last time.
So we voted, you just voted on the email, and you said you guys,
was good.
or Steve said he'll vote to send it to him, so.
Nobody had any issues with it.
I
Nobody
did,
spoke
because I asked to talk about it
Yeah,
today,
we
'cause
wanted to
stuff
talk
was
about it
taken
today.
out. Stuff was taken out
Yeah,
that I had in
and
there.
we did a vote.
Okay,
No
I
one
got,
responded.
Nobody
I
said it
got
was-
something to
Well,
read
Wait
here.
a minute, I responded. Don't say nobody
No, I'm
responded, I
saying,
responded.
Well, they went out. I don't know what to say.
I've got a thing I looked up on New York State for Public Offices Law, Section 103A. In New York State, a town board cannot vote privately via email unless they are in executive session, which we were not. The Open Meetings Law requires that public bodies conduct their business in the public, allowing the public to attend, listen, observe their elected officials. However, during the state of a local declared a state of emergency is an exception. You guys broke the law. You're not supposed to be voting on emails. That's why I do not answer emails, because you're not supposed to be voting on emails. Yes, you did.
Not vote on
Steve
email.
said, I'll vote for this. I vote to send it to him.
Steve may have said it that way. The email said, does anyone have
It's
a
a vote.
problem with this wording that Linda submitted? Kathy made some changes, I made some changes, I resubmitted it to you guys. Linda wanted to wait, Jeff wanted to move forward.
The
Steve
public
wanted
here
move
wants to know what's
forward.
going on. You're not being transparent with them regarding this audit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything audited. I'm trying to get it done.
I was just going to say, what the comptroller is doing is not an audit, it's a review.
Yes.
It's up to the board. If you want to review the letter and redo the letter and resubmit it, you can vote to do that.
As I said a year ago in June, I think we need a forensic audit. A regular audit is not gonna cut it. There's, I found some stuff back in 2012. Let me look here.
I was specifically instructed by the supervisor from the comptroller's office here for that inspection. She said, do not call it a forensic audit. There is no money missing. There is no fraud. The books are just messed up and need to be straightened out.
You're never gonna find it. You're never gonna find the mistakes of where they came from, who did them, without doing an audit, that kind of an audit.
say that in speaking with the comptroller's office, that they also said to me that a forensic audit wasn't necessary, that no money was missing, that there's been a number of bookkeeping errors dating back to 2010, 2011. She also stated that it was not necessary to correct the books back to that time and suggested that the town not go through the effort and spend the money that it would take to go back and correct the books all the way back to 2010. She suggested going back to 2022, which is what I believe the board discussed and how the proposal that was sent out was worded.
Well,
But you're certainly free as a board to decide to do otherwise.
going back to 2010, 2012, state found in 2013 that the bank balances were approximately $997,000 less than the cash balances shown in towns in the computer. Well, what are we gonna do about that? Something's gotta be done, something's gotta be, as far as I'm concerned, it's gotta be found where all these mistakes came from.
Again, Ed, the comptroller said there was no money missing.
I didn't say there's money missing, but you're never gonna correct anything if you don't go back and find out what happened. If you gotta go back that far, I think you need to.
It's just a matter of how much the town wants to spend on the endeavor. Certainly, it's this board's prerogative to go back that far. It is just a matter of how much the board wants to spend to do that.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they have no problem spending $35,000 on witch hunts, investigations. Nothing came of any of them. You can't spend money to find this? I don't understand it. I'm done.
Thanks, Ed. Linda?
Yeah, so I'll start with that. I'd like to put a date on the books for the week after these new RFPs are going to be returned, assuming we will get at least one or two from the second round, so that we have a meeting already scheduled and we're not doing a last-minute meeting again. So can we pick something the week after they're due back? So I think you put the 23rd. Or that week, but I'd like to get something, I think it's only fair to put it on the calendar so that the public and we have time to plan for it.
We can schedule one for the 25th, if anyone will, I'm not sure if anyone will attend. We can schedule one for the 25th.
At least we've got a placeholder. If nobody comes back, we can cancel the meeting, but if we get responses, at least we've got a date on the calendar.
Didn't we say responses were due the 26th
Well, we did, but
2
that
weeks.
was changed.
2 weeks,
to the 23rd?
yeah. 2 weeks from today is the 23rd. Darlene, is there court on Monday night? Do you know? We could schedule the 29th also, if you'd like.
Well, I was hoping that if we kind of came to that conclusion, we could send out the request, and in the request, tell them we had a date already set up for interviews, should they decide to respond. But I guess we can follow up with that now and let firms know that if they plan to respond, we are going to do interviews on either, the 25th or the 29th. You have a preference? Jeff, preference of Monday or a Thursday? Monday, the 29th. I would say maybe start at 6, just in case we get 2 or 3. We give each one of them, 40 minutes or so.
6 p.m.
I got one more, one more thing. I want to be, copied on each, firm, what you sent out to each firm. I want a copy of it on my email. Of the scope of work. No matter Matter of
How many
fact,
went out by email?
the whole
Two?
board should get
Or
that.
three? I'll forward what went out by email, the rest went out, on their websites. You have to apply RFPs on their website.
So you,
I'll send you what I have.
you emailed all of them?
No. The one, email addresses you gave me, Linda, they went to them. And then Reed Maxick, who declined to bid, I sent it their email, and the other ones, the RFPs are submitted on their website.
So how many altogether did we send out?
8?
7?
Seven or eight, yeah. All the originals.
The other thing is, I had asked for, in the written one that I did, I had asked for any issues that arose from the original work to be documented back to the board for us to review for an additional engagement if need be, and that was changed to be just the attorney and the supervisor. Is the board going to be updated as they find things to what came out of the work that they're doing? Like, as they proceed through the work and do the reconciliations, if something else comes up that they find that's additional to what we originally asked for, and they have to come back and say, we expect more work because of X, Y, and Z,
Yes.
are we going to be
Yes. The board will be updated.
within a week of finding it out? Or, I mean, I don't want to, but I want to just clarify that it's not going to be months later. It will be like within a week, it'll get sent to the board. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so we received a letter from the village, but I have a question about, back in the last meeting, I believe Dale had mentioned that the water was on from Royalton for, I think he said 4 to 6 weeks for pressure testing. Okay, based on the letter from the village, it looks like it was on a little bit more than that. Two of the areas had 80% drop in usage. One area had 90% drop in usage. So clearly they got a little more water than like a few weeks. So my question is there some kind of testing? I don't know if you know this. Is there some kind of testing that has to happen? I mean, technically, we basically switched their water supply for almost a quarter. So I just want to make sure that whatever health department regulations or whatever, that was done. Like, I know I just got a quality report from the village. Did those people get quality reports? Were they told that they had different water?
I would say Dale would have to answer those questions. I can't,
Okay.
I don't have the answers.
Scott, you
He's the
don't-
one that goes to that.
Okay. Can you, if I write those questions down and send them to you, can you get answers?
Well, I can take them to him and if you give me those questions, I'll submit them to Dale and Dale can get with you or submit the answers. I can't tell you that because that's his department and I'm not sure when anything was done.
Do we know, has the water been turned, is all of Shelby getting water from Medina again, or are there still sections open to Royalton?
That was a limited test. No, we haven't opened up anything yet. It's all 100% Medina water.
Okay.
As of what date?
I couldn't tell you. Dale would have to tell you. It's been a couple months ago.
Couple of months
But
ago.
part of the issue was our water hydrant. Wait, did you read it? Did Dan leave? He did. Okay. To answer part of your question, Linda, from Rural Water Association, Dale sent me a thing that says New York Rural Water Association did a leak survey for the town of Shelby located in Orleans County on June 20th and 27th. Detection was used by a LD12 device. Entire public water system was surveyed using this device, and there are no apparent leaks at this time. So, us repairing all those leaks last year and last fall and this spring, I guess that's taking care of all of our major leaks we had.
Okay, so also in the last meeting, in June, I had asked to get some water information for the 12 districts going back 4 quarters.
I have that.
Okay,
I do have that. I do have that.
okay,
Actually, I can probably give it to you.
okay,
I forgot all about it, Linda. I apologize.
okay.
It's sitting on my desk.
Okay, I think that's it for me.
Ms. Sykes?
The only thing I want to say is, after going and listening to our attorney and listening to Mrs. Laney, I don't really feel that we have to go back to 2011 or 2010. If the controller said that it would be good to go back and it's okay to go back to 22 and start all over on the books, I agree with that. I don't think that we need to go back any further.
Can I just clarify something? What I understood her to say is we should start with 2022, and based on the findings of those reconciliations, it may determine we need to go back farther, but you're not going to know until you start with 22 and come forward. That's what I understood her to say.
I think obviously this is all until we actually get the report from the comptroller's office. You know, I think we need to wait and see what they put in writing. But for purposes of, yes, what she recommended was to go back to 2022, and then, you know, she kind of said,
We'll see what happens.
right, and then also in terms of, you know, and she did say to me, I don't know that you need to go all the way that far back, but I do think we need to wait until we get a written report, right? Because she talked to me, I think she talked to everybody on the board. But it's until we get that written report, I think we're all just trying to move forward in anticipation, right, to get going on this. So, yeah, I would say for now, 2022, let's see what the written report says, see what they do when they go back to 2022, and then evaluate at that point.
Yep. And I'm sorry, one other thing. At the last meeting, we discussed me being able to reach out to Williamson Law. Scott, did you make a call to them?
No, I have not yet.
Are you going to make, are you going to?
I don't know. I will decide that this week.
Can we
Why
be,
can't we do it right now?
can we be denied? I mean, Steve and Jeff, you two thought it was a good idea that, it was, I shouldn't say a good idea. You two agreed that I should make the call to find out what was going on.
If we're gonna do a call, you're gonna do it with me in my office. Each board member can do it with me in my office.
But
I got nothing to hide. You wanna call them, you come with me. We'll call
Then
them in the office.
give us permission to
it-
call.
here's the problem. I'm probably the one up here that is most suited to have a conversation with an accounting software company.
Okay?
And I have no problem calling with you, but if Steve wanted to hear it or Ed wanted to hear it, calling with you isn't going to help them because you're not going to necessarily ask the questions that I would ask. So it makes sense that I would be the one to call. If multiple board members want to call, they should be able to call with me. I can explain
that.
things. You're not able to explain the issue. We've been beating this around for a year, and we still don't have a clear understanding of what's wrong with Williamson software.
Excuse me, there's no public comment right now. There's board discussion. I hear it all the time. Gotta put my foot down. We have rules and procedures. I'm not trying to be, but I'm trying to listen to them talk, and I'm hearing you talk. You don't realize how loud you are. Thank you. No, I have no problem with you coming in and calling with me, and then you can explain to the whole board.
The board members, he might want to call. He might want to call and hear for themselves.
Then they can
It
come in
shouldn't
and call
come,
with me.
but you don't have the understanding. You've said all along you don't understand the numbers. You ask Miranda constantly to have to explain things. So it doesn't make sense for the call to be with you.
Makes sense because I'm responsible for it, and I'd like to know with you, learn from what
And you
have
can,
to say.
but then I should be able to call with Ed if he
No.
wants the call.
If If they wanna call, they can call with me. Come in the office, we'll make the call. I
And
have no
think
problem with that.
then if more than one board member wants to sit in, then I think it needs to be a call made in an open meeting, and we can call from here.
I agree
And,
to that.
and we can have the public present. Because now we've got a quorum of the board if 3 of us sit in the room.
That's right.
They won't talk to us because you have to give permission.
Come in, you and I will make a phone call this week.
So Kathy, I'm asking legally, can the supervisor deny access to the board members for information they need to make educated decisions on issues against the board? We have to interview an accounting
You
firm.
access.
We have to interview accounting firms. It's hard to do if you don't understand the full scope of the problem. More than one board member would like to have a call with Williamson.
What's the problem
we
with coming
can't
in and
do
having
it-
a call with me?
What's the problem with me doing it without you?
What's the problem with me doing it? I'm responsible for it, it's my job.
Yeah,
I'll have
and you
the
can
first
hear
call
it.
with you, you ask the questions, and they can repeat the same thing to each board member. There's no issue with that. I'm making accommodations to each board member. Each board member can come in, make the call, you make the first call with me, and they can repeat the same thing to each board member. There's no issue with that. I'm an open book. You come in, ask your questions, write them down, and we'll ask the same questions when each board member comes in.
I don't want Williamson worried about what to say to me if you're in the room.
They can say whatever they want when they're in the room.
Maybe not. You're their client. You made that very clear, and they're making it very clear that you are their client.
That's your opinion.
No, that's what they
No,
told me.
That's the
When I
fact.
called, that's what she told me.
That's their policy,
And you can waive that policy.
and I'm willing to. You come in and call with me.
You're not waiving it if you're having me call with you.
We agreed at the executive session, it would be 2 on 2, 2 and 2. We all agreed, right?
I didn't.
Steve, Jeff, you guys agreed to that. You were good with it. Now we can't do it?
Did you agree to it?
You said the other night you did,
Yep.
in front of most of these people.
She could have access to talk to him. You've given her access, but she's just doing it with you.
Yeah. So do it with me. What's the issue with doing it with me?
Because they are your books. And I
Yeah.
find that to be somewhat of a conflict of interest.
It's not a conflict.
So I would like to have the conversation with them. I'm happy to have it with the attorney. Kathy and I will call.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's
if you
fine.
want to
Yeah.
call, you can call
I'll
with
join
Kathy.
in, I'll join in with the call also, definitely.
Oh, that's right, because we won't be a quorum. Okay. So then, it's not a
It's
quorum.
not a quorum, no.
Talk about calling it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So you will call them tomorrow morning and tell them that Kathy and I and Ed have access to talk to them.
I will call them.
And
I will set it up with Kathy and let you know when.
just for the record, Kathy, all your involvement in all these extra things, the town's getting billed extra for this, correct?
Some of the work is outside of the retainer.
So including an attorney and things that really are not necessary is costing the town extra money, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. That's it for me.
Steve?
No, I'm all set. I stated my questions.
Alrighty. Schiffer?
We have an update on the parkway, what we're doing up there.
No, Dale was working with the county Soil and Conservation, or Soil and Water, yeah. We were waiting to hear back from him on that. As far as I know, we haven't gotten anything back on that yet.
Thank you.
Was it Soil and Water? Okay, public comments. Arlene?
I wasn't here last month. I was at a tax collector conference, but I did enjoy watching YouTube in my motel room, and it helps me to stay in the loop. But there was a few things I just feel like I need to clarify. There was since April, I have been doing the vouchers, and it's going fairly good, but it's pretty challenging with the bills and making sure everything comes out okay. But it was mentioned about a Verizon bill that was a one page, and Scott had said that he would check with me. That I don't get. That goes, I believe, to Miranda, and then she prints it off and gives it to me. And I do agree, it's just the one page. It's not the full Verizon bill. And then there was a record or something about a Toshiba bill, and that was from November and December. It was paid late, and it was because the court copier wasn't able to give out reads. Toshiba was trying to call or email the court, but they had an old email address from a previous judge, and they weren't getting in touch with her. It kept on kicking back. So when they did finally, they got a hold of me, and I immediately did call Pat Calera, or Pat Visa, and had her contact them. And I did contact Toshiba and say that I would give them the information, and they did email me back and say thank you for that. So that's all taken care of. And then one more thing is, the mail. It was said that that I open the mail. I don't open any mail except for mine. When I get the mail, it's either myself or my deputy. If it goes to the highway department, the highway gets it. If it goes to supervisor, supervisor gets it. If it comes to the clerk, then Darlene gets it. Sometimes it might just say Town of Shelby, and then of course it's hard to know who it is, and I may open that, and then if it's not mine, of course it goes to the right person. But I think what I want to do is just to keep it clear that because there's a lot of records and things I don't have, I'm going to have a document put in place just so that when someone gives me information, they're going to sign off that they've given it to me. I'm going to sign that I've received it. It's going to state what the information is. That way we're all on the same page, and there's nothing that I'm not getting that I should be getting, and vice versa. So it'll kind of protect both of us, or whoever's giving me the documents, whether it be highway or whoever. But I just think it'll be a lot easier just to kind of stay, in tune with everybody. So that's it.
Yeah, so I was going to say all mail that comes into the town, regardless of where it's designated, whether it's the supervisor, whether it's planning, whether it's highway, they're all records of the town. And the clerk, by statute, is designated as the keeper of the town's records. So yes, there should be something where, regardless of who it comes into, that ultimately it makes its way back to the clerk's office and there's some record of it, so that in the event of a FOIL request, the clerk can find it.
Are you saying the clerk should be opening all the mail and then giving it out? Or you're saying that it's the responsibility of the department heads to give it back?
I don't think it matters how that happens. I think it just needs to happen. I mean, and the town board is responsible for all of the town's property. The town's records are the town's property, so the town board could say, adopt the policy how it prefers that to happen, if that's what it wants to do.
If it's addressed to the, say, highway superintendent, well, she shouldn't have to open it, really, I wouldn't think.
So,
Only if it's, only if it's addressed to the town of Shelby, then she'll have to open it, otherwise.
And that's what I do. If it says Town of Shelby, I do open it, because I don't know if it's gonna be for me or what. I presume it's gonna be for me, but sometimes it's a surprise, it's not for me. And then I just make sure I put it into that person's mailbox.
but if I understood you, so technically going forward, everybody is still going to get their own mail. But if you are supposed to have a document and nobody signed off on that log, then you did not receive it. So it is then the responsibility of the person who the mail or document is with, that they must still have it, because there's, I just don't want to see somebody saying, she had it, no, I had it.
Supposed to keep all the records, though, regardless of whether they're for the planning department, the highway department, the supervisor. The clerk's supposed to maintain all of the town's records.
Right, but only if they're given to her. So this log that she's talking about is going to be proof that she has actually received the document, and now it's in her possession for her to be able to fill. But
But it doesn't guarantee that she's receiving everything that she's supposed to be
that's my
receiving.
point. How are we going to get around that? It sounds like a workshop.
Right, yes. The board needs to decide how it wants the town's records handled.
Yannick Parada. Nope. George Phillips. Mike Rich. Larry Waters.
Good evening, Board. I got a lot of things I want to cover here, but I'll try and keep it brief. As I mentioned in the last board meeting, I was not getting satisfactory answers to my questions. I therefore submitted a FOIA request to Darlene, which she was able to fulfill, I would say, to 80% capacity. This is all in regards to Water District 1, current charges, service charges, what meter readings, what the village billed us, what we were able to collect. And I already see issues with potential leakage, 1,487,000 gallons for District 1 for the first quarter, and by meter reading, 1,202,000. So that's roughly 285,000 gallons that is unaccounted for, whether it was used for flushing or what I believe probably to be leaks, and that's just in one district. Some of the other things I'd asked about, listing of the current service charges for each district. I believe that's been foiled here in the past. And again, what I'm getting at is obviously these range anywhere from the $25 all the way up to 103, just 92, there's 70. If I were in any of those districts, I would certainly be approaching the town and asking what perhaps the outstanding balances are on these bonds, when they will mature, and if it, after the fact, when they do mature, if it will turn into this operations and maintenance fee of $25, or in that, for instance, $103.44, does that include that underlying $25? What I had also foiled in request was either a resolution or a local law or some directive by board that made this operations and maintenance fee a scheduled fee on the bill. There's nothing to be found to that effect. So to me, again, that remains a money grab. It was a bond that turned into well, they're used to paying the extra money, we'll just knock it down to 25 and take the money and run. Again, I am not in agreement with that, and, I've paid close to $3,000 just in service fees for the time we've been in our household. So the odds of me paying that going forward, not very good, and I don't believe the town has any standing to do anything about it, unless they prove otherwise. I did also ask for a copy of the current District 1 account, the current balance, how it is appropriated, its intended purpose. I was not given that because I was told the numbers are not correct. And to me, that is the actual reason for submitting a FOIA request. I wanted a snapshot in time to realize just how bad things were. So I had to do my own homework on this. I stand pretty firm on my findings and my ability to summarize what I was looking at. I did get a copy of all the vouchers for District 1 for the first quarter, and referring to the budget, contractual was $3,500 for the year, and we've already managed to rip through $2,400 of that, and that's not even half a year's worth. So we under budgeted there, and I'm not sure how we're going to make up the difference, whether that's going to come from somewhere else, and moreover, that doesn't include any new water districts or providing water to people that don't have it. Just a quick couple other things I wanted to mention. I apologize for running over. If we could request that elected officials and department heads stay for the duration of the meeting, we either have them not show up for whatever reason that may be, or if they get up and leave when there's items to be addressed. The other more glaring thing, and this is as a result of last week's very interesting meeting there in the other room, is I just wanted to refer back quick again to the supervisor's responsibility in collecting money belonging or due to the town, paying board-approved claims, maintaining complete and accurate accounting records, and providing detailed monthly financial reports to the board. This is obviously no surprise. There have been no supervisor reports for 2024. And this incessant defense of this bookkeeping befuddles me. This is not a three-person board. There are some talented people on this board, and they're trying to help you. But I think you're putting yourself on an island, and you're digging yourself a hole that you may not be able to easily get out of. So we come here because we're interested in what's going on with the town. We're interested where our money's being spent. And it gets to the point where I feel I have to play detective and get all the information myself. And boy, I don't want to miss a meeting because a lot happens. Thanks.
Thank you, Larry. John Pratt. Alrighty, can I get a motion to adjourn?
One thing, just for Larry, District 2 will be paid off end of 28, 29. So I'll be in for the same thing, and I was told that we would go to the $25 service charge.
Excuse, what was it? Oh, you signed the wrong one? Yeah, come on up and you speak. Signed the wrong one, it's not your fault. No problem.
Hi, Barb DeLucio. As you recall, in March, when the balloons went up for Borrego to show how high the windmills would be, we started circulating petitions. Okay, we started circulating petitions. For those of you who haven't seen a petition, I'm just going to real briefly read what it requested, but I think you're addressing all of those things. I thank you for not approving the wind overlay. That was the first step. But there is more work to be done, obviously. And I thank the planning board as well for addressing this. So the second part was to please look at the zoning laws, do whatever you can to prevent the large wind turbines in our community. And these are the collective petitions. I just feel that we've kind of been waiting to see, but they were all signed in good faith, so we're submitting them in good faith. Okay, and I have copies if the planning board would like them as well. And they also include people in the village, so and we tried to designate separate sheets for Ridgeway residents, but it does affect the people in the village as well. So,
Motion.